Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Ronco Johnson. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? It's Lifestyle Focus Friday. Today, we're going to be talking about conversations that you and your family should be having pretty early. Pretty early. Hey, look here. It's almost halfway point of the year. It's time to get started right now. And we're going to have that conversation with you in just a few minutes and see who's on board and who has neglected the opportunity to have these very important conversations about your estate plans, your financial plans, who's taking over, and where you're leaving things. And my challenge to you today is why don't we just go ahead and get started? I think the best thing to do is just to go ahead and get started. So sit back, relax, and unwind. It's your boy, it's Lifestyle Focus Friday, and we're in the house and we're ready to get started. I'll see you inside. Hey, everybody. It's Ronco Johnson. Thank you for joining us. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? It's Lifestyle Focus Friday. We are here to get ready to start talking about what millionaires and billionaires do. That's what we do. And we talk about our very secret financial tool that we discuss all the time and how we leverage the money from it in our own family bank. And we're going to have more conversations about it. I know that more and more of you have started to send letters in and type us and DM us and all the good things. And I greatly appreciate it. Before I get in started with it, let's go ahead and welcome everybody. Welcome to Lifestyle Focus Wealth. I'm your host, Ronco Johnson. Thank you for joining us. And a little housekeeping before we get started. Do me a favor. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't forget to like us, subscribe to us, and share it with your friends. Do not keep us a secret. Do not keep us a secret. We want to bring all the energy to you, your family, in your living rooms, in your cars, on your cell phones, even while you're on destination travel. We want to be part of your every week conversation. That's what we want to do because we want to change lives everywhere you go. The more you stay connected, the better it's going to get, and the more ideas you're going to get. And the sharper your tool is going to get, and the sharper you're going to make your friends around you. So stick around and help us with that. Continue to hit the subscribe button, and our algorithms definitely want you to do that. So listen, if you're listening to us and you get a takeaway from our story, our conversation today, do me a favor. Put the words takeaways in front of your comments. That way we can find your comment quicker and we can respond to it possibly on air. And if we don't get it on air live, we will respond privately. So do that. That means a lot to us because that lets me know that you're taking away some information that's necessary for all of us, not just you, but for all of us to prepare ourselves and to be ready for those lights out moments, right? That's absolutely what we want out of all of us. So if you're out there and you're hanging in with us, I see some people already logging in. Great. Thank you for joining us. And I see Miss Henderson out there from Milwaukee. So thank you for joining us. And if you want to put something in the private chat, do so. Let me know. Okay? Let me know. Because today we're going to have an open conversation. Somebody asked me, are we scripted? Today, no, today we're not scripted. We're not scripted. Today we're going to talk about having conversations with your family early. Having conversations with your family early. How many of you out there, I'm curious to know, how many of you out there have had the conversation about your belongings with family members? Wow. How many of us have had that conversation? You know, a little background music probably wouldn't hurt us on this one because it is a very tough conversation at times. when you have to have that very serious talk. And that serious talk is, hey, what are my plans today if today was my last day? What are my plans? For those of you that have children, for those of you that have spouses, maybe you run a business, you may not realize how many people depend on you. And I'm just going to share with you a little story for myself. You know, it wasn't until I had a lights out moment that I realized how many people really depended on me. And it wasn't just, my mom, my dad, my brother, my daughter, and the rest of my family. It was my extended family. It was my extended family, the people like you that are listening to this broadcast. If I'm not here to deliver the message, I don't know if anybody else can do it. Because in my profession as an insurance professional and all the different things, I'm the guy. I'm the one you come to, right? So how many of you have thought along those lines, if today were my last day, are we ready? I wanted to go a different direction today. I know we've had some great conversations in the past, and we've had some great guests, but I just want this weekend to be full of thought as you're going out and enjoying your time with family and friends. Maybe you're toasting up at the local bar watching the NBA finals, or maybe you're seeing a family member struggling and you're going through it. I'm going to let you know you got hope. But you can't just go by and say, hey, John over there, he's really having a hard time. He lost a family member yesterday. I'm going to let him go through it. Or Susan over there, she's really having a hard time keeping her home. And what I don't know what options I can help her with over there. Can I be of any service to them? Maybe it's some good news. Maybe you got a friend of yours that just opened a new business, a new practice, but you got information that can help them get that business loan or leverage themselves or save some tax advantages that may help them go a very long way for the rest of their career. What role do you play in the significance of helping other people? And this is where I think the conversation for the infinite banking or the insurance professional, it actually comes full circle. Because once you start to truly understand your purpose on this planet, on this earth, it is all about family. It is all about family. It's not necessarily about how much cash you got. It's not about any of that stuff because you can't take it with you. So what should we focus on? The name of this program is Lifestyle Focus because I really want you to start focusing on the lifestyle. Start focusing on the most important asset that we have, time. Today, right now, you have time. You have time because you're breathing. You have time because there's no other thing on your agenda more important than making sure that the rest of your family's legacy is secure. There is no reason or excuse why we don't sit down and get it done. Outside of the fact that, it's a little scary. I don't want to think about it. I can do it later. Guess what? When your lights go out, it's that. It's right now. And at that point, it's too late to call your friends. It's too late to call your attorney. It's too late to call your insurance agent. You're having a lights out moment. But let me tell you the difference. About a couple of weeks ago, I had another little scare of my own that made me come to that thought that, oh my gosh, I may be having a lights out moment. The conversation was easier to have. It's not an easy conversation by any means. I don't want to make it sound like it is. It's not. I want to make sure that you understand that there may come a time where you don't get to have the conversation whatsoever. But the decision that needs to be made, it is not It's not as difficult as it may sound. It's a decision. I'm going to do it or I'm not. If that plan, the financial plan, is not complete, you made the decision not to do it. And if that's the last decision you make, that's going to be your legacy, that you decided not to do it. Now, I don't mean to be so straightforward on camera, because I know this is supposed to entertain you and make you feel good. But if you want to feel better about the decisions that you make the right one. Because when you make the right decisions, when you get down to it, you got your trust in place. You know who your beneficiaries are. You've had the conversations about who is going to take this decision and run with it. Who's going to carry out my hopes and my dreams? Here's my life insurance. I got it taken care of. If I got to go to the doctor's office, here's my health insurance. If my mortgage is going to be paid off, or if my real estate investments are going to be paid off, who's going to manage it? Better yet, are you taking care of some of the tax advantages? I get many calls from most of you wondering about the tax advantages or your taxes. Maybe you got a new salary. What's up, Sam? I see you out there, buddy. Good to see you. And let's talk about it. You may not tell everybody how much money you're making, but you may say, I got a raise. My question to you is, did that raise put you in a different tax bracket? Did that raise put you in a different tax bracket? And if it did, we need to start having different conversations about how we minimize those taxes, right? How we minimize those taxes. Well, these are the conversations I have to say. The earlier you have them, the better the opportunity to fix them really are. And that's why I say to everyone, you might want to just join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community right now. Why? Because there's other people just like you having that conversation. And when we return, we're going to have a conversation about it a little bit deeper. Okay? See you inside. Hey, join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. Membership starting at $16 a month when you pay the annual subscription. So register online today at www.lifestylefocusedwealth.com. Listen, there's no better way to take care of that than to join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth online. And you can get in very easily at $16 a month if you pay annually, or $20 a month. I need you guys to get started doing that now so you can get inside our portal and start fellowshipping with each other one-on-one and start having these conversations. And if you think that you need some coaching, come on over and let's talk about it. Get on our coaching schedule. It's very easy to do. Just simply go to Lifestyle Focused Wealth and send us information. And I would love to sit down and talk to you. If I can help you design one of these very important specialized banking systems for you attached to life insurance, let's talk about it. Okay? Well, let's pull this thing all together for just a quick second. Today's conversation sounds like it's all over the place because we all are talking about the advantages of what millionaires and billionaires do. But the reason why they can move so effectively and so efficiently is, one, they got the right tools. Two, the conversation's been had. They had with their attorneys or with the accountants and with the family members so that everybody knows where they need to be going, what needs to be handled, and who needs to handle it. These are conversations that will put you in the top 1 to 2, 3% of the people that you talk to if you can get started right now. Today. Stop hesitating. If you're 50 years old, it's taking you 50 years to do nothing. Everything that you have done up to this point, if the planning's not done, you're going to completely unravel it. Completely unravel it. If you're 25 years old, your life is just beginning. It's probably better for you to go ahead and start planning right now so that you can live the rest of your life enjoying whatever it is that you want. And that's because you've gotten this part of the financial issue taken care of. It's amazing to me that when we get to start talking about our emotional health and our mental health, that money is always at the top of it. It's the top of the conversation. That's correct. And when we're having money at the top of the conversation, I think most of the time when I'm speaking to people, they'll tell you, I want to be by a beach. I want to be on a mountain. I want to be somewhere where I can relax and unwind. Well, let me explain to you, when you have no bills, let me give you my dream world for a moment. For all of you, see if you could dream with me. Close your eyes and listen to my voice. If you had no mortgage to pay, if you had no car note to pay, if all the student loan debts were taken care of, you have zero credit card debt. You have passive income over 6 figures coming in from real estate and business deals that you have all over the place through your 4 or 5 different organizations. If you're giving to charities and giving to your universities or to your churches, and you're seen as a person of influence, because when you start to speak, people can value where you're coming from. If you could think about your kids going to the universities of their choices, starting the careers of their choices, not going to college just to be someone else's employee, but to come out knowing that they have the family bank to help them open up the business that they can start being the only employee for. Utopia. If you hadn't dreamed that way, you're probably having a lights out moment. But that's what we're doing here at Lifestyle Focus Well. We're getting you to take that floor, your thought pattern that when you say, I'm going to earn $600,000 in a year, if that's your top number, suppose you were to say that was my bottom number. 600,000 should be the amount I'm going to earn regardless of what happens. Hell or high water. Now you have no limit. You have no limit. You can go straight up. That's the kind of planning that we're trying to do with you. We're not just doing the normal basic little deals. I had a conversation with one caller who asked me, when I'm watching TikToks, they're usually dropping those little nuggets, and I'm not sure if I'm catching your nuggets. My response to them was, well, it's kind of funny. When you're driving in traffic, I'm in Atlanta, and you're in your car, you're sitting in traffic. But do you ever see the jet above you flying by, getting to its destination? When you're in the jet, I can definitely look down and see your car if we're flying low enough, but in most cases, that jet, I can't see your car. What I'm trying to say is there's a gap between the two levels of thinking. And in that gap, one can't see the other. You can't see the jet in traffic, and the jet can't see you above the clouds. So here's where I'm trying to say to you. The type of planning that we are discussing here is having your own family bank. And we're having our own family bank in such a way that you are not going to be like everyone else when you're all said and done. You're not going to be like everybody else. We're doing what millionaires and billionaires do. We're trying to adopt the habits of highly successful people and make it part of your daily life and your culture. I recently had to have a conversation. My daughter, she's 20 years old. And, when you're 19, 20, you're just about to get out of college, you had it all planned out. And the scary thing is you don't know anything. In many cases, you don't know nothing. But there comes a point where it takes a person willing to sit down and be mentored just a little bit so that they can understand why is it that you're pushing to have a company so bad? Well, that's because, son, daughter, our tax code is really set up for corporations. Most of the advantages that you're going to see in our tax code are for people who own businesses, not you as an individual. So part of our education process should be having the conversation at home. Very casual, not a sales presentation at home, but a casual conversation at home. Why? That way your son, your daughter, and your family member knows why they're cutting grass, but with the name of their company. You know, if you're going to go cut grass and you're going to charge somebody for it, you might as well start them a corporation. Before you go buy the pair of Nikes or go buy that $300 bag, why don't you do this? Here's the challenge. I want you to go online. I want you to DM me if you want more information about how to do it. But I would like to see you start a corporation, an LLC, or something official today. Give that as a gift that keeps on giving. Because when you help another person start a business, you as a parent, you as a family member, or even you as a friend, you can give a business to a friend. But if you're going to loan somebody money, you might as well invest in their hopes and their dreams. And if you do that, you're playing the game at a higher level. You still loaned the person $200. You loaned it to the corporation. The corporation now is set up for them to go out and cut as much grass as they can cut and bring in as much revenue as they can to their company. And when they make more money, they got to pay you that $200 back. It doesn't have to be a very difficult conversation. It just needs to be at the level of the person that you're talking to. It's still all strategy. It's still all conceptual. And once we get these concepts and these strategies down, then we start making decisions that affect our more and more complex and more adult lives. And I just like having the conversation because once we start to do it, a lot of times we find out that we're operating like a business without the business. And then we're operating with these tools, or we may have them. You may have a 403B. You may have a life insurance policy. You may have some annuities. You may have stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and you may have 2 or 3 pieces of real estate, but they're not working together. So what we want to do is have the opportunity to sit there and say to you, hey, listen, suppose we could put all these ideas together in our think tank and in our mastermind. That's what we're wanting to teach. That's what we're teaching you. In our financial education workshops, that's what we're teaching. If this is where you want to be, and this is what the kind of information that you want to have, hey, find me. It's roncojohnson.com right below. And let's talk about it. I would love to have you. I would love to have you. And I would love to sit down and talk about your action plan, your business plan, your success stories, your success stories. I love to have conversations with existing clients and friends. If you want to be on the network, if you want to be on, let me know. Send us a DM because your story matters. It's so impactful because there's people who haven't seen people like you. There's people that have not seen people like you doing the things that we talk about. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that there needs to be more of us doing more. That's it. More of us doing more. So for you folks that are going out there getting your financial degrees and your licenses and your insurances and all the good things, God bless you, because there's many people out here that need your help. One of the wonderful things about being an advisor and also being a personality that people can come up and talk to is the fact that we're having these conversations with communities everywhere we go, because all of us have one thing in common. We all use this thing called money. We're all trying to save it. We all love our families, and we're trying to make sure our families get ahead. So the conversation is easy to have. It's like, look, I know someone that is just as interested in helping you save more money, or probably more interested than you. Would you like to speak to them? Or would you like to be a part of that group of people where they're all having this conversation? They're talking about how they're buying their groceries, they're buying cars, they're buying houses, and they're starting from scratch. You can do the same. You can do the same. I love it. I love it. Am I inspiring you today? That's what today's Friday is all about. Inspirational Friday, we should call that. Lifestyle Focused Friday for inspirational business owners and entrepreneurs and just lifestyle focused people. You know, the one thing about talking about the IBC or the infinite banking concept or Nelson Nash's original concept of using whole life insurance that pays dividends and interest, I think what happened was it just made sense the way he was saying, compounding interest and always earning money, even on the dollars that we spend. Even on the dollars that we spend was so groundbreaking. It isn't just the policy in design. It's not. It's really about having control of what your life is all about. Because if I can slow down some of the bills, if I can slow down some of the interest that I'm paying everybody else, I think one of the things for me has been the most amazing thing for me, even before talking to the public about it, was how quickly I could change my financial situation from the dollars that I was saving on the interest that I was paying outside entities. And I think right now we are so accustomed to making these payments that it's almost hard to see paying it off in a year, paying it off in 3 years. Mortgage 30-year payments down to 7 years. Man, time. That's nothing but time. We're saving time all over the place. So I think it's important that I say this. It may seem as though many people are scared of how much it's going to cost you to sit down and have a conversation with a professional. My question is, how much is it costing you for delaying the process? Because it's costing you something. It's costing you something. And you may not be aware of how much it's costing you, but it is costing you. Okay? I can see people in our hot chat. They're chatting to one another. Hello, everybody. I see you guys out there. Georgia's on fire today. Hello, hey, Leela. I see you hanging in there. Good to see you. Always good to see you, folks. If you want to start asking me some questions, please type it in the comments. Today is that day. We're giving you an opportunity to talk to the coach and allow us the opportunity to answer any questions that you may have. If you're interested and you're out there and you're listening to what we're saying, and you're interested in learning a little bit more, or even having one of these lifestyle-focused wealth banking instruments attached to life insurance designed specifically for you and your family, please do me a favor. Go back to lifestylefocusedwealth.com and let us know. Let us know. We'd love to have a one-on-one session with you and share with you how that can be an effective move for you. And then get about part of our coaching programs. That way you can start to see all the different ways of using it. There's probably over 200 to 300 strategies of how you use the cash in your lifestyle-focused infinite banking system. And you can't get it all in one day. It is a lifestyle. And that's what we're changing, a lifestyle. And once we start to do that, it starts to give us more and more leverage. I love what I do. I can tell you now, I know that the impact that we're making on people's lives is incredible. And on top of it, when that day comes that my lights go out, I'm confident that we're ready. We're ready. Not saying that I'm ready to go, but we're ready. And that is just one thing that doesn't have to sit on top of my brain and doesn't cause me any wrinkles. Someone said to me, "Why is my skin so shiny and so vibrant?" Because I'm having less and less to worry about. And at the end of the day, I know that I'm doing a great job. Wouldn't you want to be in that position? Isn't that something that you want to be in? It's almost all biblical, you know? So if I think I'm doing God's work and the universe's work by using my gifts, my talents to go out and just share with the world the information that makes you better. And you take that information and create a system for your family to follow just from the information that I shared, man, that has legs. That has legs. That has legs. It's going to take a little bit of talent. It's going to take a little bit of hustle and grit, but most of all, your execution. You see that on my wall behind me. It's going to take that just for you to get started. But why are you delaying the process? We need to get started now. We need to get started today. And what happens is we start learning that, man, things are much more attainable. Things are much more attainable. You'll find that you can start getting business lines of credit once you start to learn how to leverage it. The equity in your home, you start to learn how to leverage it. Your credit cards, learning how to leverage it as seed capital. Then you start writing agreements. What kind of agreements? Promissory notes, loan agreements, whatever the case may be. Then you start learning how to go in and negotiate with the bank based on what I put into the bank, loans that will allow me to buy bigger properties, more real estate, more commercial properties, more multifamily homes, and all the such. Once you start to get this process, then the financial planning piece to it, it's like filling in a jigsaw puzzle. But it won't be difficult. You just got to find the things that connect. And if there's one thing missing, if there's one puzzle piece missing, the puzzle is incomplete. It's totally incomplete, especially if it's in the middle of your painting. So you have to take your time and make sure you get it all the way out, all the way thought out. And once it's thought out, all you have to do then is maintain it. I'm not saying it's simple. I am saying it is a task. I'm not saying that you do it once and you put it away. You got to continue, because as you grow and continue to grow, your assets are going to grow. The financial responsibilities grow, your businesses grow, your tax liabilities may be growing. So that means you may be needing, planning that can grow with you, that can expand with you, that can be designed so that if you grow, all we have to do is implement this strategy. Because remember, your wealth is your health. And a lot of this has to do with your ability to maintain good health, and then also how much time you have on the horizon to benefit from it. Those are the keys. These are the keys to success. So if I can save the time by talking to a professional, by getting some coaching, and I can continue to do these things a little bit at a time, and I'm having conversations with like-minded individuals, or I circle my wagons and say, I want to be a part of this lifestyle-focused community. And if I don't know anybody, I'm going to reach out in the community and start tagging people and saying hello and have the conversation. And then let's see what happens. And you'll probably be smiling just like me, and your shine will be just like mine. No, there is no oils on my head. I know I can see it in the camera how bad it's shining, but that's just because I got the Lifestyle Focus Friday glow. Where Lifestyle Focus Friday glows here. So let's go to the comments and see what we got. I see a takeaway. How much money it's costing you can delay this important conversation. Well, the conversation doesn't cost you anything. But once it's said, it's said. Remember what I said earlier, a decision to do it and a decision not to do it is still a decision. The conversation is, are you willing to take the next steps to make the left or the right decision? I think it needs to be planned on. Why? Because there's other people involved. And a lot of times when we're thinking we're the only person involved in our plans. And it really isn't that way. There's a lot of people involved in your planning. So you want to make sure that, first of all the parties that you have in your plan, you need to make sure that they're a willing participant to the plan that you're designing. Because you may find out that they're not thinking of you the way that you're thinking of them. And the decisions that they would have made are totally different than decisions that you would make. So powers of attorneys are important this way because you may be leaving it unknowingly to someone in a much more desperate situation. And you want to make sure that they have the capacity and the understanding and share like-mindedness in your decisions with your money and your finances. So we got another takeaway. Lifestyle focus glow. Yes, I think we need to patent that. We need to have more lifestyle focus glow for everybody, right? Especially on Fridays when we can get a chance to get out and mingle and talk to people and share this information, man. I tell you now, one of the most rewarding things about being an advisor, and I have to be honest with you, now that we're on streaming, I think we're close to 20,000 views. And one of the most rewarding pieces of this is just that, the fellowship. The fellowship. All the information that we take in and we're able to bring it in from businesses and business owners and small business owners and information from other people, and we compact it and try to give it back to you in the community in a way, in a form that you can digest and start working on immediately. And it's just so rewarding. I just get excited about it. So I like to hear your stories. I like to hear scenarios where we can help you untangle the unknown. And in doing so, we're helping you get to where you want to be, right? We got any more takeaways? I'm looking through I see a lot of comments, but I don't see a lot of takeaways. All right. That means one of two things. Either I'm just a fantastic teacher or I'm a fantastic teacher. It isn't going to be any less. Those are the only options I'm going to give you. That's the only options we're giving you today. So if that is making sense to you, please give us a thumbs up. Give us a round of applause. Please share this information with your family and friends. If your kids are in college, it's a great time to have the conversation. Do not send them to the back room. Don't do that. It's not that kind of party. They need to start knowing what to do, who to call right now. And, I would like to thank our sponsors and hopefully you could go out and look for advisors from L.R. Johnson and Associates and other financial people that are out there that can help you get to where you want to go and then pass you on to the next folks that can help you even further. But right now, getting to the problem is first, can we get some understanding? Can we get some understanding? And I conclude with this. I want you, my family, my real family, my virtual family, my lifestyle focused family, to understand how much you mean to me. And because you mean that much to me, I hope you value the fact that I'm having the conversation with you. It's important that you realize and understand while I'm alive how much I think of you, how much I value you, so much that I need you to make these decisions in the right manner. The good book, the greatest book, one of my favorite books, The Richest Man in Babylon. Get the book. Read it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read it. And then don't forget Nelson Nash's Becoming Your Own Bank. Read it, understand it. And those will give you the platform of where we're going, right? And if you're not going to read those books, I wouldn't give them to you. I wouldn't waste the time on you. I would ask you first, if I were to give you these books, would you read them? And if you tell me I'm not interested in reading the book, I wouldn't give it to you. But you will have just passed up on the biggest opportunity to change your lifestyle and your legacy for your entire family downline. So I challenge you to do this. Let's get started. Let's get started now. Let's get started making impacts together. And if you want to be a part of that, do me a favor, DM me right there, www.roncojohnson.com, or you can send us some information at lifestylefocusedwealth.com. Let's get started today. Let's get started today. I'm going back to our conversations here, our comments. I'm looking. I see takeaway. My takeaway is making sure that I have conversations about who gets what when my lights go out. Yes. Also making sure that my system is in place and this transition is stress-free for the loved ones. Look, thank you so much, Donna. I really appreciate that. I can tell you this. Some of the most frustrating events, and I've done many funerals, and I'm sorry that I have to admit that, some of the most frustrating events is how the response of family responds to a loss. But you can always tell the member of the family that didn't get the opportunity to clear the air. Typically, it's the one crying the hardest. Typically, it's the one that's acting out the most. But then the person that's the most calm, the most quiet, the most reserved, I'm not saying they're not going through stress, but that's the person that spent the most time with that family member usually, or that has built some acceptance. And they also know what their assignment is. All we're saying is take the time today to start writing down the assignment. Make sure we designate that assignment to the right personalities, the ones that can take care of your planning, the ones that will be your healthcare advisor, the one that will take care of your financial, the one that will execute and carry out all your plans. And if you don't have one in your family or friends, find a professional that will do that task for you. Do that task for you. Let's start planning now. Let's start having the conversation, because when we're at the dinner table, everybody's not looking around trying to avoid the conversation. No one wants to avoid the conversation, but it is kind of difficult when everybody shows up to the dinner table with no food and everybody's hungry and you're the only one with the biggest piece of chicken. It's not fair. Don't put yourself in that situation. Let's start making sure our community around us, everybody has something to bring to the table. Everybody understands their role. Everybody understands their assignment. And we continue to carry out a plan. Like they say, plan your work and work your plan. And if you can do that, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of the game at a point where I'm comfortable telling you that there's not that many people out there like you, right? There's not that many people out there like you. So, well, that's our time almost today, everybody. It's been a conversation that I want you to have. When the lights go out, are you ready? Ask the question. Honey, are we ready? Son, daughter, if I'm not here tomorrow, are you ready? Because you're preparing them for life after. And there's nothing wrong with having the conversation. The more that everybody knows how much you love them while you're here, the more they can appreciate how much they love you while we're in their face and have the opportunity to spend time with them. So the conversation today is all about love, it's all about strategy, and it's all about planning. Well, thank you very much, you guys. This is Lifestyle Focus Well, and I like having this type of conversation. I hope that most people don't avoid that conversation as well. Thank you, Leela, for that conversation piece. And if you want to have more information on upcoming programs, send us a DM and let us know what topics you want to talk about. It's Lifestyle Focus Friday. I'm Ronco Johnson, your host, and I look forward to seeing you next time right here at the top. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. And y'all don't work too hard out there. God bless. See you next time.